Welcome to episode 13 of this vlog about growing a tiny tropical garden. Over 20 degrees heat in February, that's unheard of. It definitely feels like spring is in the air. We were dog sitting this week and this cute looking mutt took a particular liking to our Hebe. She laid on it for hours and made sure it was completely flattened, and she was a tad obsessed with the stream as well. I had to distract myself from all of this dog's destruction, so I had to go at changing the way I'm growing the laurel against the fence. Before, I allowed them to grow straight and cut so they'd branch out at the top. But my plan changed after watching the Japanese Gardens program with Monty Don, and I had to go at twisting and contorting the way the laurel was growing. I think this will make for a more interesting structure as the tree matures, and it will harden when the wood lignifies. Now, you can see the two laurel shrubs here growing against the fence. I think this twisted, contorted look will really help create a tropical form with the plants, but they remain tough enough to create a microclimate and windbreak for the rest of the garden. I took this abnormally warm weather as an opportunity to make the first pollard cut on my paulownia tree. Now this will encourage big leaves and lush new growth, and I'll keep cutting it to this height every year. And just for an experiment, I put the tip that I cut off into the soil and made sure that there was a cut just below a node. If this takes, it will be great. I also trimmed off the lead growing tip on our eucalyptus tree. Now this will encourage side shoots so that each year, eventually I can pollard it, and it will encourage more of this lovely circular blue juvenile growth. And all of this glorious sunshine meant that it was time to move the Schefflera away from the direct sunlight and into a more shady position. Hopefully it will be happier here and will grow really well in the coming months. Our Arundo Donax plants have put up new shoots much earlier than they did last year, so in the coming weeks I'll cut away the old shoots to encourage even more of these new ones. I've got variegated Arundo Donax on the left and regular on the right. Now if you don't cut down the reeds, they'll just grow enormous, and I don't want that. Our Photinia Red Robin is starting to put out its intense red new foliage. This is a sure sign that the warm weather is going to encourage more and more things to start growing in the garden. Our golden Indian bean tree is just starting to show tiny little buds at the top of its stems. I'm not going to pollard this one this year. I'll let it establish and maybe I'll do it at the start of next year. Even the tetrapanax are putting out new leaves in February. Perhaps we're going to have an amazingly long growing season this year and everything will get enormous. Fingers crossed. The bananas continue to keep growing, with just a bit of frost damage on the tips of the new growth. But so far, so good. We've got some lovely intense orange blooms about to come. But I can't remember what this plant's called, so if you know, comment below and let me and everyone else know. This Primula polyanthus cultivar I showed you in last week's vlog just keeps putting out more blooms. I'm growing really fond of this Primula, and I hope it just continues to build a bigger and bigger clump. This is a wildflower that's native to the UK. I weeded it from somebody else's garden, but thought the foliage would look good in my jungle garden. And the cutting that we've got of the contorted and twisted corkscrew willow is putting out new leaves. Now I don't know whether this is early or not, so let me know. And here's a fatsia that someone gave me that they were keeping as a houseplant. I'm putting it outside, so it's looking a bit stressed at the moment. Here's some cuttings I took of the erysimum I was growing last year. I just put them into pots and left them outside all winter, and they've actually taken really well. Now, the only thing left to do is decide where I'm going to put them in the garden. They've got lovely yellow flowers. Where do you think they'll look best? And I've rescued this aspidistris from the compost heap in another garden. Its evergreen foliage looks really exotic and jungly, and it loves shade, so I'm going to divide this clump and spread it around the garden. So that's where this tiny tropical garden is at the end of February and start of March, after a week of abnormally warm, sunny weather. If you've got any questions, ideas or tips, comment below. And if you liked the video, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.